So thank you again for joining Epic.io, our team on our monthly webinar. This month, we're really excited about talking about discovering FirstNet and launching this for you. So we're going to learn how FirstNet keeps first responders and related industries, connected with strong, uninterrupted communication, which is so important in times of crisis. So I have a really great team to introduce you to. Angela Halsey is our product development management team, and then Jessica Morin, who are a director of strategic alliances and kind of the FirstNet guru. So they're going to walk you through FirstNet, what it means, and the whole program. Little housekeeping, everybody's been on 800 million of these. However, what we'll do is if you have any questions, you can put them in Q&A or chat, and we'll either pause in the middle to answer some or at the end. So happy to take as many questions as you have. We love open dialogue, so we'll try to keep it brief and really save time for dialogue. So I'm very excited about this, and we'll get going. A lot of you, I think, have been on, but I see some new names, so welcome. We do these monthly webinars on different topics. Some are product, but a lot are industry. And it's, we really try to be a source of education. And so we're always open to feedback about what you want to see. So a little bit about Epic.io and how we came to be and what we are. So if you've dealt with us, we are a single source provider for really fully managed wireless solutions, as well as IoT and AI solutions. So on our connectivity side, we utilize 4G, 5G, really a single source, but multi-carrier for failover, primary internet, temporary internet, POTS replacement is really big now, and CSD-WAN solutions, but also IoT and AI solutions. We've been doing a lot of trainings and have a lot of opportunities, very exciting. And really the biggest differentiator is our Deep Insights platform, which is an open AI SaaS platform. We did a webinar on a little bit about that last month and 2 months ago. But if you need more on that, hit up your channel manager. We have a lot of room to run on that. So very exciting. But really, we want to be a single source for you and your customers to make it simple for wireless and IoT options. So we have a slew of awards, which we like to put up there. But really, where Epic.io was born of, we rebranded 3 months ago. It came out of, BroadSky has been in the channel for a very long time. BroadSky was your single source wireless provider since 2003. We actually were purchased a year and a half ago by Epic, who had also purchased IntelliSite. The exciting part about that was IntelliSite is an IoT AI company that has been deploying IoT for 20 years. So very similar to BroadSky, and we were really searching for an IoT strategy. So coming together was huge, and it fits really well where we provide the connectivity, and now we can provide these all-in-one solutions to the channel. So just a little history about where we are. What makes us different is our gold standard, really on the wireless side as well as the IoT. So we've always been an engineering first company, really putting the customer's needs and the customer success really first. And so the solutions are designed really for the modern network, the changing network, but also to not one size fits all. So all wireless is not created equal. So our gold standard in wireless is really providing the best service and the best solution at each location for the customer based on what their needs are, for whatever their needs are. Like I said, whether it's failover, whether it's primary, if it's POTS replacement, if it's IoT. So we are a multi-carrier provider, so we can always provide the best service at each location. We deploy very quickly and also in scheduled deployments. We always deploy on a dual SIM deployment for all of our solutions. Like I said, just really future-proofing and making sure that we have the best solution, the best service at each location. We utilize the latest equipment technology, or we can pick from an array of equipment so to right size and best fit the solution. We are not in this to charge overages. We have a team that does data management for us. And so we take it very seriously to look at our data management and what our clients are utilizing and report that to the clients. So if we need to make any adjustments, with that, we offer cross-carrier data pooling to really maximize our customers' usage and minimize their cost. And we offer bundled solutions most of the time, really as a low CapEx or no CapEx offering, making it very easy as an entry into wireless or upgrading wireless into that solution. So next. So today, just to talk about the agenda, what we're going to go through what is FirstNet to explain what the program is. I'm sure everybody's heard about it, but really, how it came to be and what it looks like. And to talk about really the different industries. There's primary industries and there's extended primary industries. Primary industries are the ones you think about first: fire, law enforcement, medical, public safety, things like that. But extended primary industries are the ones that really work with and support the primary industries that are also eligible for FirstNet, which is really an expanded network, and the opportunity is great to service. Those can be healthcare, utilities, transport, education, companies that support natural disaster, things like that. We will also utilize, we'll go through our solution and how we've bundled the solution for FirstNet with our gold standard, and also how to qualify for FirstNet. The reason why we're so excited about this is if you, looked at our rebranding when we went through this a couple months ago, our motto is really to provide, a safer, more connected world. A safer, smarter, more connected world is really our three components. And that's really, FirstNet really dovetails into it very nicely. And so that's where we're really excited to have you be able to offer this. So I will hand it over to Jessica to teach you more about FirstNet. Thank you.
You're muted, Jess. You're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. So just to kind of get the ball rolling about FirstNet, some may know a little bit about it, but I feel one of the most important things to know about FirstNet and what makes it so different is that it really is a priority network. And band 14 is the public safety VIP lane, I feel. So when there's a crisis or an incident, it allows for people that need to be first responders and those that support those first responders to have communication and to not get bogged down, and to be able to go back and forth to make sure that they're actually addressing the situation and resolving it. The thing that makes it very different is that it is a SIM card, and that is what tells the network that it is priority. So we get questions a lot, like how is somebody going to know if I'm on FirstNet or not? So the SIM card, not only does it go into the connectivity portion of what Epic-io has, it also comes into our AI and IoT of Epic-io as well in the solution. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. At high traffic incidents or events, this priority can result in making sure that the network is there for the FirstNet customers. The AT&T's agreement with FirstNet allows the company to use the spectrum, which we call band 14, and then it pushes everybody kind of out of the way. Next. So how did this start? FirstNet came to be in 2001 when 9/11 started. Like a lot of us remember where or what we were doing that morning. I know for me personally, I actually lived outside of DC. My husband worked in DC. We had no communication. We weren't able to know what was what. All we could rely on was, kind of like the news. It took hours for us to be able to get to know that each of us were okay. And he actually had to walk from K Street over the bridge because the trains were down. So I think that's just something that resonates with me when I think of about FirstNet. Feel free to share how maybe the communication lag that day went down in a chat. We would love to hear some stories, just like the one that I just shared with you. So from there, they went into 2004. They had a 9/11 commission was made. And through that commission, they started to focus and had brought in consultants. And that's where the first responder network authority came into play. And then from there, they gathered all the information and they released a rather large RFP. And within that RFP, from 2016 through 2017, they were FirstNet. Well, AT&T was awarded the RFP. And then from there, it kind of triggered the growth of the network for FirstNet, advancing the experience and making sure that the first responders were able to utilize the band 14. So FirstNet's been a 25-year commitment to deliver, mission critical tools and technologies to make sure that the public is safe, and it also had the blessing of the federal government, and AT&T itself had a lot of power behind it. Oh, sorry, next slide, Angela. So what industries can utilize FirstNet? That's a question we get a lot. Automatically, primary examples: law enforcement, hospitals, fire, public safety, alert systems, EMAs. Those are automatically can be approved for FirstNet. Since FirstNet actually started, they went and expanded into what they call extended primaries, and Angela will get into that in a little bit. But that has to do with healthcare, utilities, and transportation. And a big thing is that they're always adding different pieces or different verticals to FirstNet. So if you have an opportunity, and 4 or 5 months ago, it might not have been like a FirstNet approval, it might be now. So feel free to reach out to us. We help to do all the legwork to make sure that that it is approved and that it is it would be part of the eligibility of primary and or extended. So let's talk about primary. So we all know that it's the fast-acting responsiveness with connectivity. It's very important for law enforcement, fire, public safety, hospitals to be connected in the time, not only during a crisis, but all the time. So different agencies communicating with each other is very important. There's a lot of use cases out there that we'll get into, but it's everyday use cases. It's the tornadoes. It's the school systems. It's just a lot of different things that we want to make sure that when you're out and about in the public, that they're able to help and resolve any issues. Because FirstNet offers dedicated band 14 to responders, it can handle heavy data throughput that would bog down a commercial network. One of the things I think that we get asked is, how does it know the difference? Again, just want to reiterate that the FirstNet SIM card really does makes the difference, that puts them on that lane for being part of the response team. They can live with the FirstNet solution with the responders. They can stream video from, maybe they have some things that they need to share through the web, right, or through email. They need to be able to have a chat so that they're able to communicate maybe floor plans, or even with each other in different sections of any kind of incident that is taking place. One of the use cases that I actually know about, because it happened in my area, is there was something took place in a mall, and unfortunately people were not running. They were taking video of the incident, and it bogged down the network. And there was a first responder there, and he was able to get out onto the FirstNet network to make sure, and that had no lag whatsoever, so that the authorities were be able to react fast. So the other part about FirstNet is it's not only about the people that they are there at the incident, it's about the people that are supporting that incident or crisis as well. So by being able to share back and forth, it really enhances the awareness, and it keeps the public safe. So one of the last analogies that I'll use before we take a small break is the best way that I learned about FirstNet was to think of it as a highway, and you're driving down the highway and all of a sudden you hear the sirens and automatically to move to the right. And as you learn that maybe there was an accident up ahead, you want to be able to push that traffic over so that the first responders can react, but you also want to be able to have the first responders and the ones that support them to be able to have that connectivity. So that's pretty much how I think of it in my head, is that when there's something going on, the sirens go off, people get moved to the right, and the more first responders and those that support get to stay to the left. And once the incident is taken care of, then the traffic starts to flow. So feel free to pop any questions in. I know that we're kind of, I'm probably talking a lot and there's a lot to learn, but if you have any questions, please let us know.
Maureen was going to check the chat too to see if there was anything in there.
Yes. One question is, can we get a copy of?
We can't hear you, Maureen.
Oh, sorry. One question is, great presentation. Will we get a copy? Absolutely. At the end of probably, I would say by Friday. We always send a follow-up email with a link to the recording, as well as the slide share to the deck and the deck. So you'll have that. And then two, it'll also be posted in our partner resource page. So if you don't have that link, go to your channel manager, because we have all kinds of goodies on our partner resource page as far as downloadables. So that's one question. Let's see. Another question was, how long does it take for for you to find out if you're approved for FirstNet?
So I can help with that. Okay. So there is some basic criteria that we will share also after this presentation. Is we need basic company information. We need contact information, the website, and also the use case. For primary, like I said, it's a lot easier to get approved because of the first responders. When it comes to the secondary, we need to have that use case. How is that company helping the primary? And we help work to put that through to FirstNet to get approved. It can take as little as 5 days to be approved. And if the use case is a little bit bigger, then we work with FirstNet directly. We have a great resource team, and they're able to help us to let us know yes or no rather quickly.
Great. Okay, thanks. I think that answered 2 questions, so we're good. I think we could probably keep rolling.
Okay, great. Sorry. So just to kind of wrap up the primary. Working obviously if the incident takes place, the first responders are on the scene. They have the support, whether it's the utilities or the ambulance or any kind of healthcare. They all work together. They're able to have that connection. The connectivity is there, and then they're able to get the incident resolved, which I think that's what we all want and hope to happen. And that's it about primary.
Jess. Yeah, great. So I am going to come on and say hello, that I will be talking about extended primary for our partners, but I am actually going to shut my video off because I am human and I sway when I talk to a big black void. So I just wanted to be honest with you guys and let you know that I'm here and I'm focused. I'm just going to shut it off. So So extended primary, I think the best thing about the extended primary for you, our partners, we are most excited to talk about is that this is where you'll see, I think most of your clients will be sitting. Like Jess said, the primary, law enforcement, fire, hospital, those are all pretty self-explanatory that they'll hands down qualify. But the business types within the verticals, I think that we'll be evaluating, AT&T FirstNet committees constantly are reevaluating who qualifies in these extended primaries. So healthcare, we're going to drill down on what healthcare means for extended primary. Same for utilities and transportation. And how is it that they actually support the primary qualifications? Severe traffic incident, you would think that's law enforcement. Well, there's a lot that's tied to that as well. Same thing as natural disaster. FEMA's not the only one who qualifies for natural disaster. And then there's education. So we'll talk about a little bit, drill down into those verticals. We're excited to do that because I think that for you, our partners, these are going to be the key areas in which you'll find your clients to have the conversation about. Okay, so healthcare, definitely, again, hospitals. So on these, we're going to have the primary and the secondary on them. And that's because we want to be able to give you the deck to be able to digest, to put out to your clients or whatever else you want to do. So it's all one piece. It qualifies, but we're just breaking it down for the educational purpose of it. One of the main questions that you would ask through healthcare is, does your staff include doctors or nurses that have a state license certification? That's extreme importance. That's like the number one questions when you're going in somewhere. So if you're thinking of those pieces, you can think family medical, you can think hospice, you can think assisted living. Those are all people who may or may not have a primary care state licensed doctor or nurse on their staff. If they are on their staff full-time, doesn't mean they have to be in the building, but if they are on their staff, then that would be a great opportunity for you to come to us and say, does this client or customer of mine qualify for this? Because this can be very vital to them. Again, just like Jess said, it's a public safety VIP line. So how do these people get directly to the hospital or law enforcement if they're dealing with people in their clinics or anybody who has any kind of trauma in the middle of having maybe even just a routine healthcare check? So those are things to see. If we go to the next, we are looking at utilities. So utilities to me are pretty cool. They are not things that you would think of. Well, they're critical, obviously, but to be able to offer them that VIP line and to qualify, power generation, anything solar, nuclear, electric, hydro, those are all pieces of it. Think of who provides, utilities to your customers, the towns, the cities, your major providers within any of those areas. Those are all people who would be up for qualification. And I say up for qualification because we really don't want to mislead anybody. We've been given all the parameters. We've been trained. We've had multiple conversations with FirstNet and what we can do. But still, there's always that one piece of qualification. If it's outside a hospital, law enforcement, or the fire, it still has to be qualified. But utilities is because they need to work with the public safety entities in many crises. They need to provide the service residentially or commercially. And imagine if someone hits an electrical pole that, this obviously that takes everybody off the grid at that point in time. Or a big rig truck, has an accident and spills hazardous waste on the roadway. Those are critical things that need to be communicated VIP line to law enforcement or anybody else that needs to be involved. Major systems that malfunction is another incident, potentially escalate into a disaster. They're likely risks necessary necessitate preparation, but intentional sabotage can happen. Bioterrorism can happen. Waste plants shouldn't be ignored either. So those are different pieces of the utility. A lot of the pieces is knowing what they need to prep for. So if somebody has a contingency plan that they need to put forward, can be part of that as well. The next one would be severe traffic incident. This one obviously speaks for itself, but how do they support the primary? Do they have a contract with city or county or state, federal employees or agencies that they can help assist in different places? One of the examples that Jess likes to use is, a wrecker service. Do they have a rotation with law enforcement agencies that they need to go and remove vehicles from either the side of the road or from a wreck? There's endless possibilities that you can see that maybe some of the people that you have in your portfolios, clients, customers, that could really use this FirstNet VIP line, which I like to go back because Jess uses it. The next one obviously would be more natural disasters. So these obviously tornado and tsunami and everything you could think of for a natural disaster is the primary. But what are the companies supporting to the public for these natural disasters? They need to provide the service residentially or commercially. So again, if we go back to any of the pieces that are down that keep people or companies on a grid that could, if heating goes out, and I mean, back east, I feel bad for all you people. I'm in Bend, Oregon. So everybody back east in the winter that gets taken out for weeks on end, like there's other times that they really need to be able to communicate, and people are always jamming up the signals to, to reach their loved ones. But it's critical that these people communicate with one another. The other pieces are transportation. Again, this is one that we are consistent in providing solutions for. So we're excited to put this in our portfolio for transportation communication. There's qualifying, questions to ask for transportation. What's the business doing to help with getting people safe and working with primary care? So that's what you would ask your business. Does that qualify? Do they contract with the city, the county, or the state for these pieces? Expanding coverage. I love this piece here for the expanding coverage and the advantages that happen for transportation and evacuations. FirstNet coverage stays accessible as you carry citizens to safety, even if you travel through rural areas. And I think that that's very important. I think that the other piece that, Jess skimmed over in the beginning was that AT&T is the only one that does this on band 14. Now, the other carriers that we have relationships with all, but they don't have the access to band 14 to make it a primary, to do what AT&T does. They have their own programs, but they are not like this to make that VIP line again. So the last one for us to go through would be education. I'm reading notes and facilitating here. Education. So we're looking at preschools, elementary schools, high schools. I'm sure you guys can all imagine why this would be critical. K-12 through high school, most colleges that can be on it. Schools qualify. And the biggest qualification you can find in a school for a safe school, Jess will tell you a little bit about that with the UIG. But even if you're just looking for mobile connectivity within your schools, or a way for resource officers or anybody to just communicate when those critical incidents happen at schools these days, they can be qualified if they have a law enforcement person on staff. If a school has a law enforcement person on staff full time, they can qualify. And so what that does is that just opens up the doors for all these verticals when they have these qualifying questions to be able to use FirstNet in a lot of different manners. Anything from iPad communications to handhelds to the way they operate their networks with the routers to make calls in and calls out. So there's, once you can get approved for Band 14 FirstNet, there's a lot you can do to help solidify the safety of each of these verticals. And I think that that's pretty important. The other piece is, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the solutions that we have internally as Epic.io. So I'm going to go through what we have on the partner side as far as some of these extended, and Jess is going to go through the hardware and solutions that they have on the more of the enterprise side with the UIG and their solar trailers and things that you can, other places that we can put that FirstNet to secure places. So with that, we have packaged together multiple solutions for different verticals. So right now we do our standard. If you've done business with us before, either as BroadSky or Epic.io, we have our standard packages where we're your MSP. We give your gold standard, and we provide your router. We provide your service. We provide your connectivity and everything else that needs to go along with getting I want to call it a branch. We have branch solutions, but when I think branch solutions in this case, I'm talking multiple medical offices that need to be tied into one place, or it could be multiple schools in one location. Maybe that's a rural area, and there's different ways that they need to be connected to make sure if you're a healthcare provider and you have extreme information that needs to get to a hospital because you're helping assist in something, you can use that Band 14 to get your information, whether it be via phone, via email, fax, imaging, however it is, you can run that stuff across that Band 14, and it makes it a priority to put the information first. Emergency mobility kit, they started this over on the IntelliSite side. We're happy to have it now. Now that we've joined on the Epic side, is the emergency mobility kit is just what it says. If there is a disaster and somebody needs something set out quick, these are up and ready to go. It has everything it needs for you to have your mobile command station for any kind of disaster that happens. So that can be something on site. An example for us is, before we had the mobility kits, there was the hurricanes down south. We had customers call us. They wanted to get some information out to a cruise ship, or we used the cruise ship, I believe, for the communication piece. And these were up and ready to go. They went out the door. And so everybody used it. At that point in time, we didn't have FirstNet. Having that now and being able to give people that avenue to really make sure everything is on the up and up and safe is exciting for us to be able to have. So branch solutions, your channel managers will definitely have all the pricing and pieces on that, because I know that question's definitely going to come. So we have very small starting to very robust. So we made sure that we had something that fit for everybody on this piece. Jess is going to explain the UIG and the solar trailer here.
Great. So one of the things that when we first started out and we utilized Universal IoT Gateway was that we thought that FirstNet would be a great solution to have a piece to put in our solution, because of the fact that it needs to be up and running, and we do serve for those emergency parts. So our gateway allows data to be analyzed. Maybe some people like Maureen had mentioned, maybe have gone through our AI IoT webinars or had some trainings with Skylar or myself. But we talk about how we help solve when it comes to cameras and different sensors. And when it comes to public safety, in schools, we're able to take those existing cameras or new cameras, able to input some sensors, whether the door has been open for too long. We're able to take all that information and put it inside a dashboard, which is what we call Deep Insights. Now, Deep Insights gathers all this information, and it's able to put out alerts. So that's another thing. So the camera doesn't just sit there. The sensors just don't tell you that the door is open. It actually has, it's able to say and move to, like, hey, something's happening to 10 different people. What are we going to do? Like, do we alert the police? Do we have for education, do we have the security guard go over? So we help make those rules and put those in place. So within that universal IoT gateway that holds pretty much the brains of all of the technology that Epic IO has, along with connectivity, artificial intelligence, and IoT, we also have it where you can plop a solar trailer somewhere with all of that same technology, but able to move it around. So let's say there's different events within the city, or within anything to do with first responders or with healthcare, and they need to have something there right away for connectivity and to be able to see what's happening and have sensors involved. This is what we would be able to offer as a solution. One of the other benefits about having FirstNet as part of our solution is that we support the FirstNet SIM card. So that's a differentiator. We know that you can go online and you can, if you Google FirstNet, you can get the service. You have to get approved, no matter what, but you can get the service yourself. But our solution in our connectivity actually offer the support. So you're there to, if anything, any questions or anything, we take on that for you. So this is just a quick look into what our dashboard, our Epic value, the data tells a story. Again, it has trends and insights, live and recorded video, and it really does bring all of our technology with a single pane of glass, so that if you have different cameras or different sensors within any primary or extended primary, we're able to help bring all that together and to make sure that it's up and running and that people are staying safe. So just to kind of bring it all back together on all the things that we've been talking about today is determining FirstNet eligibility. These are some highlight of some 5 questions. I know that your channel managers have been learning about FirstNet as well, so they would be a great resource as usual to go to learn more. But these are just a list of different questions for you that you can kind of get the conversations rolling to see. Again, we're here to help you to make sure that that if it's a fast yes and a fast no, so feel free to utilize your resources. We want to make sure that these that they have some kind of interaction or contract with the city or the county, and that they're able to that they're able to communicate that and show that to us in order to get that use case for approving.
All right. Thanks so much, Jess. Great information. Like I said, we're really excited to offer this because it really goes to our, our motto of providing a safer, smarter, more connected world. And some of the use cases really, I think, are so relevant right now. So wanted to open it up to some questions and that we got in chat and Q&A. If you have any more, lob them in there. We will be happy to answer them. So I am going to go up to who, what, and or makes up the governing body of FirstNet? I'm going to give that to Jess or Angela.
Sure. So FirstNet is AT&T. It's their first responder, like we talked about Band 14, but they work with Homeland Security, so that's a big part of this as well.
So, and they are the organization that, so we work directly with FirstNet, but also they're the ones that, are constantly reviewing who qualifies and extends who can qualify, managing all those pieces. So next question is, where does the National Guard fit into this?
I'll take that. So they're government, so they would definitely fit into this. They would be FirstNet for sure. With National Guard.
Great. Bob has a question. Should we assume that all first responder organizations already know about FirstNet? Example, ambulance services.
I would say no, absolutely not to this. As Jess showed on the history of it, it's still fairly new. 4 years old is still fairly new. I can speak only even from a personal place of my husband's in law enforcement. I know a lot of different law enforcements in the area that we're in, and they've never heard of it. So it is definitely something I believe that AT&T is just getting up and going in marketing. And so they're using, distributors such as ourselves to start figuring out how to deploy this in all the places that they're missing, and they could definitely be using right now. So I would not assume that at all. So if you have relationships or prospects where you could go out and have those conversations, I would say definitely start those conversations.
Great. I would agree with that. To Angela, I think, can we put up the channel manager map while we're doing Q&A, just so they know who to go to? This is our channel manager map and our support for you. So look for who's in your region. I'm going to continue here. Joe has a question. For education, is a security guard considered a law enforcement person?
For this, I would say at this time, no. It is not. We did actually ask that very specific question with them, Jessica and I did. And unless if they have, again, that state contract or that law enforcement contract. But here's the thing that I really, really like about this program. And I had said it earlier, that they are continuously evaluating what needs to be a part of it. So if you think there's something that needs, I think that should be a part of it. I definitely think in some form, they should be part of extended primary, especially in the schools right now. They are changing things consistently. They are reevaluating who can and cannot. So if you or your customer are passionate about saying, I don't see how this doesn't qualify, that's when you bring them and say, let's start the conversation with AT&T to see if we can get this qualified for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Bob had a question. This is your first experience with Epic. How is BroadSky better? So in the beginning, Bob, you've been around for a long time. BroadSky, really is Epic is the new name of BroadSky and IntelliSite. We joined forces about a year and a half ago. And I have to say, it brings so much more resources to the partner channel. And offerings that we're really excited about. But it got a little confusing with 3 different URLs and 3 different emails. So we are now all under Epic.io. So what it does is really broadens what our offerings are to your customers. For example, what's really, very relevant now as far as safety in schools. So, to be able to offer FirstNet to those administrators, that they have communication in times of, crisis, but also possibly IoT solutions that can be, door sensors to tell whether a door is locked or not. So really providing multi-layer safety solution and communication solutions to a customer. That's really, what the whole Epic picture brings to you and your customers. So, how much do you charge to add FirstNet to a mobile device? So currently, our offerings are data offerings. So they are for either stationary or mobile, but not phone. So I don't know if we're going to I have to say right now, I don't think we're getting into phone devices, but might be for, Angela could correct me if I'm wrong. But up to this point, we have not. It's always been data connectivity. So be it either a router, a sensor, you know, a device, that type, not so much as far as phones. So, and then with that being said, what we do charge for FirstNet is we have several bundles based on what their needs are, and it bundles everything. So whatever the use case is, whatever the router is needed, or if it's bundled into, you saw kind of the you know, the mobile trailer, that would all be bundled in. Let's see, Vinay, when and how do public education providers qualify for FirstNet connectivity? And is it only for their emergency services or also for their general students' use? Jess?
Oh, sorry. So it is not for student use. It is only for their emergency services. So the people that are that if there is an emergency, the people that need to be able to respond outside, inside the school and outside as well. So it would not be for general student use.
Great. And then two, to be able to qualify, obviously they have to go through the same scenario. So they have to provide the information required, you know, the use case and all that information, and then we submit it to FirstNet for approval. So, next question from Renee, are the primary and next tier users offered the same traffic priority for their different traffic types?
So whether it's primary or extended primary, they would all be on the same band of band 14.
Yeah. And so interesting enough, so band 14 is in use daily on AT&T. So just for everybody's information. So you might be on it if you're on AT&T and your device utilizes band 14. You might be on it right now. But what Jess was given her analogy of the highway, basically, you know, because of the people who are approved and have it in their device, they have the FirstNet SIM that allows them to just keep on going. If there's crisis, then everybody else has to pull over. So basically, for lack of a better term, they kick everybody else off, or move them to the side. I shouldn't say that, but that's where that SIM gives them priority on that network. So just for everybody's information there.
And to touch back with the solutions too, not everything is band 14 compatible. Not every device is band 14 compatible. So that's where we take our knowledge and our expertise when putting the solutions together. That we work with our OEMs who are close partners. They give us the hardware solutions. We take our knowledge in 20 years of connectivity, and we put things together and we deploy it so that it works correctly for all end users. And they get an awesome perk of being the only ones driving down that lane.
So I think that wraps, I think, Vinay, we covered yours. Really good questions. Like I said, we're very excited to offer this. You know, I think Angela asked it, you know, I always think, well, all first responders have to know about that. That actually isn't the case. We have found that they do not. And, you know, I'm sure some larger ones do, but there's many organizations out there that do not, and particularly the supporting or the second tier do not know that they qualify. So it really offers such a value to them to then offer a value to who they're supporting, which is the first responders and the public. So, you know, we're very excited about this. So wanted to also make sure that you know, see this map. These are your channel managers geographically. If you aren't connected, please connect. They can start having those conversations. Again, we will have this sent out as a recap. So you will get the recording of the presentation. You will get the presentation. And then there is actually a flyer that will be there. And also, if you aren't familiar with our partner resource page, contact your channel manager. It is awesome. And so it actually gives you all downloadable, you know, cell sheets, use cases, you know, any kind of, and they're co-brandable. it gives you a whole co-brandable section, and it's on connectivity and IoT. It's really a fantastic resource. So this will also be loaded on there as well. So, and as always, we have these webinars every month. We're always open to what you would like to see in the future, but if you flip to the next slide.
Well, we had one more question come in real quick.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. If a fireman's cell phone normally uses band 14, how is it determined when a call is a FirstNet call? So that's when you subscribe to the FirstNet service. And so that would be, it is a designated SIM provided by AT&T that is programmed to reach FirstNet first. So they may have a phone, they may be a fireman, but if they are not subscribed to the FirstNet service with dedication to band 14 with the traffic, it will not work in that manner. So
yeah, good question. And then Joe, I said your question was, who's our competition? Who will you be bidding against? Other than a customer going directly to, FirstNet or AT&T, which is, we get those questions all the time of, our competition is our carriers because we're a multi-carrier provider. So they could. However, what, Epic does offer is it's really the full solution. So it is the correct solution. It's the correct router or correct device or whatever, all bundled in with the FirstNet approval solution, managed out the door, supporting the customer. So that's really the easy button for you and your customer is what we've always tried to provide. The rest of it, if they go direct, it's a big DIY project for a customer or you to manage. So that's really, that's our value anyways. Wanted to get to the save the date for next month. We really would love to see you again. And to not be corny, but POTS is hot. So everybody's heard all the, talk about the date coming that copper is getting turned down. It's been looming for a while. I keep hearing August a lot, but it is coming. And I don't like selling fear, but it is, I have to say, we've been doing POTS replacement for 3 years now. This year has been the biggest year and just growing. We do a very nice job providing a POTS replacement solution with our gold standard, obviously, deployed in the field. So we've done it before, but not for a while. So we're going to be talking about POTS replacement and what that looks like, how we can help you and help your customers get ahead of it, not behind it, and talk through that. So please join us on July 20th, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Coast time. And we would love to see you again. So I think that is it, unless any other questions popped up. Do you have anything, Angela or Jess?
I don't, no.
Great. Thanks again for joining. We really love these. Hope they're of value to you. Any feedback is appreciated. Reach out to your channel managers and let us know what you need. Thank you.